There's no respect. There's no hope. And what do you want to do? Just protect yourself. Oh, I don't want these ugly lampshades to come in my courtyard. You know, hey, get out of my cloud. You know, don't come and bother me. So you have no respect for the world, for the people, and you have no respect for yourself either. Because when you look at yourself, I'm bad. I'm naturally born. I'm naturally bad born? Born bad? Born bad. I'm naturally born bad. You know, sometimes we think that. You know, when your life is a succession of failure, you know, you feel like I will never make it. I'm so bad, you know. Everybody say, anyway, we begin by a mistake, you know. We just have an apple when we were not supposed to have it. And since then, everything is getting worse and worse. You know? And so when we come to look at ourselves in the moment where we are not so wonderful, then we say, I'm bad. And then you have no respect for yourself. So if you have no respect to yourself, you don't relate to your Buddha nature, how can you expect to reach it? So the first good news of the day is that when you wake up in the morning, no matter what this day is going to be, no matter what I'm going to do, I got the Buddha nature. So all sentient beings I will meet today, everybody has his Buddha potential. Call it Buddha virtuality, the seed of enlightenment, the element, the basis, whatever. It's there. And I can decide to relate to the world from the point of view of the Buddha nature or relate to the lampshade. If I relate to the lampshade, I will have to protect myself from the lampshade. I will have to seduce the beautiful lampshades that I like and I would like to have in my living room. So I'm going to be very busy dealing with the lampshades, and so I will have no time for the Buddha nature. And this is how, since beginningless time, though we all are endowed with the Buddha nature, we don't see it. We see sometimes little sparks, you know, like little lights that sort of pierce through the lampshade. We have a little moment of, we call it intelligence. We call it love or generosity, you know? I mean, even the worst people, you know, they have a little moment. You know, I always say in Germany especially, I said, even Adolf Hitler loved his German Shepherd. You know? So everybody, even the worst person, has a little soft spot. You know, a little sort of tenderness. You know, that could sort of be really funny, like, you know, like a stamp collection or whatever, you know? You see these big guys and then they're working on their car or their truck, and then when you see their eyes, they're like kids, you know that? You know? And they can be really tough and with a lot of tattoos, you know, and then, but they're like kids, you know? So this is the Buddha nature that's sort of piercing through the lampshade. We should see it and remember it and say, okay, that's there. Even in the worst days, it's there. Even in the worst people, there's a moment where they have a little bit of intelligence, they have a little bit of tenderness. You know, if you look at animals, even the wildest animals, they're very tender with their babies. They take care of them. They know how to protect them. They have intelligence and love and benevolence. You know, it's there. So it's a way to see the world in a very positive way. It's not wishful thinking, you know, if only I was a Buddha, that would be wonderful. No. I have the Buddha nature. I have the potential for enlightenment. And I'm not unique. Everybody has that. The Buddha Shakyamuni in his time found that. And since then, countless men and women have decided to follow that path and founded it. And so they're here as witnesses. They say it's possible. You know, we may meet some of them, even nowadays. You know, they will tell you it's possible. And you've probably met people who are not enlightened or Buddhas, but there are people, good people who live according to values of generosity and intelligence. Maybe not fully developed, but good people. So this is a tremendous inspiration. Because if you only focus on the lampshade, and the bad news. I was very happy to see a channel television that only broadcasts good news. I don't know what's the name of this channel, Yeah, why not, I mean, because we're talking about the catastrophes in the world and so on, But there are beautiful things happening. And we don't see them, we don't notice them, we don't celebrate them, So if I wake up in the morning and I said, well, I got the Buddha nature. Everybody got the Buddha nature, but everybody ignores it. That's a good start for the day. Because you can make it as a sort of game, like when you're a car, you tell your kids, try to find, play with the numbers and the name of plates, and okay. So it's more or less the same thing, Okay, I'm going to work with that today. I'm going to try to, when I see somebody spatially grumpy or spatially miserable or whatever, I'm going to try to find a way to bring forth the Buddha nature in that person. How could I help this person to discover it? How could I help myself to see it in the first place? And maybe I could start very early in the morning when I'm in the bathroom and looking at myself in the mirror. How can I help that person to discover his, her Buddha nature? What could be the present I could do to this person? What could I take upon myself to free that person for one moment so that he or she can see it? Right? So if you see the world like this, you don't become a sort of naive dreamer, so like everybody's a Buddha, lovey-dovey meditator or something like this, you don't have to wear pink glasses, everything is wonderful. No, you can be in this world very active and how would you say, functional, efficient, but at the same time trust people and have confidence in their Buddha nature and say, I trust you, you should trust yourself. I know you can do it. How can we do it together? Of course, you cannot say that to everybody, but you have to find a way to say that in the specific language of that person in this very moment of their life. And that's where you're going to use your creativity, your intelligence, your seduction, whatever you have. You're going to use it to help people to discover their beauty, discover their Buddha nature. So it's going to be a path. And as you do that, you see in yourself your own limitations. Your limitations are very clearly connected with the territory of me and myself. I can be generous to the extent of what I can give. There's a moment where I do not want to give more. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to lose something. I can open up my world to a certain extent, but there is a moment where I'm afraid to be invaded, to disappear, to die, and I close. That's okay. The point is not to say, I'm super open and I take everything and I give everything away. That's stupidity. That's not generosity. What you have to learn is every day you have to learn where is your limitation, where is your border, and then open it a little bit, and then push it a little bit, push it a little bit every day. That's your challenge.